Well, here we are at another LTVA, this one in California. And I've got a surprise for everyone. You ready? Close your eyes. Presto changeo! I've just de-aged 10 or 20 years. Yeah, I got tired of that hairy beard and mustache and stuff. I was just trying it out. Second time I've done it. And I've decided I prefer the clean, youthful look. I found that with that beard and mustache, I look like every other guy in the 60s, 70s, or whatever. And that's not me. I'm not like every other guy. I'm my own unique self. And I'm sure all of you out there feel the same way about yourselves. Nobody wants to be a cookie cutter of someone else. So, we're here just sitting, relaxing. Oh, the crazy dog's out here. Hey girls, what are you doing? They got so much energy in them. It's crazy. At least they're letting me get some good night's sleep. We don't have dogs barking and coyotes howling, cars going by us out here. This is one of the first times I got a full 8 hours sleep, I think. But anyway, what are we going to talk about today? Well, I know I've been promising you that video on how I changed my cab on my RV here, and I've tried to get that thing prepped, cleaned up and stuff, and things happen. Dogs take a lot of time. The dust, the minute you wipe anything down, the dust just settles, you know, it's like continual fairy dust. And then I tore things apart, remade them. I just gave up. So I decided to just go to hell and make the damn thing, whatever it looks like. I got pictures of before and after I can show you as I talk through this. So, what are you doing there, dog? The dogs are crazy, I tell you. So, oh, you went and found your ball. All right. So, I'm just going to turn this into the first of several upgrade videos, starting with the cab. How it was when I bought this back in 2018, and it's 2008, so it's like 10 years old when I bought it. And how I went through different phases. I think there was like 12 phases and 40 some improvements, incremental, and well, I'll show you in the videos that follow, okay? But if you got any questions, I may not be able to answer them because I'm not a mechanic, I'm not an electrician, I'm a visionary. I came up with all these ideas in different stages, like I said, 12 stages, and I drew them out orthographically, which is 3D on my computer, presented them to the craftsmen that I knew could make my vision into reality, and they did it. So, I'll tell you what I can if you ask, but don't be upset if I can't tell you all the specs and the watts and all the other stuff that an electrician would know. All I know is I thought it out, racked my brain, took my brain out, shook it, washed it, put it back in, you know, and so far, everything has stood up. Oh, yeah. Anyway, let's get to this first improvement video and quit wasting time, shall we? I don't know how long these videos are going to be. Some sections I did more than others. I'm sure I'll forget one or two things I've done in each case because I've done like 60 improvements I had listed once, major, minor, cosmetic. That's it. Enough of that. So okay, let's restart this video, and we're going to start with the improvements I did to the Pleasure Ways Ascent RV cab area. So let's get to it. This is the dash as it first appeared when I bought my RV. The dash was black on black with a dark gray graphite laminate layover that I didn't realize it had. The lettering was very tiny for the instruments, and the instrument displays were very narrow, small, and weakly backlit. Both these conditions made the dash difficult to read in the dark of night or even the light of day. I found some walnut laminate overlay that would fit my dash for my make and model of my Dodge Sprinter van. Once that was applied, it instantly upgraded the entire look of the dash and the cab itself. It made it so much easier to both read and find the instruments and the controls on the dash in the dead of night or even the light of day. I also found a dog food bin that could hold up to a month of kibble for both dogs on our road trips. That found its place in front of the passenger seat against the front dash. Next, I added a swivel plate under the passenger seat. This raised the passenger seat by 2 inches. I could then turn the passenger seat around, drop the half-extended table, and sit there with the wide doors open, enjoying the view out the side. On the back of the passenger seat, I clipped to the headrest posts 2 ladies' purse holders. This worked just fine to loop the 2 separate leads over them and keep them organized and handy. The other ends were anchored to the D-ring inside the side sliding door. This gave the girls plenty of space to go in and out of the RV or around the front or back of it. Traffic and road noises made it very difficult to hear my cell phone when in the navigation mode. I looked around and finally found a Jabra Freeway hands-free unit that I could match with my cell phone. This made all the difference in the world, and I could easily operate my cell phone through voice control with this unit and hear the navigation instructions well over the traffic noise. For storage in the cab, I made a cab storage shelf out of 2 wall racks for bookshelving and a wire laundry shelf I got from Home Depot. I put those together using the connections already in the upper cab area to put the racks in and tie them down with zip cords. It was easy to install. I had to drill no extra holes and used what was available. This gave me a great deal of upper storage space. I also cut out a thin bathtub mat to fit it, and that would absorb any rattles from items I put above in the rack itself. As you can see, I was able to store a great deal of items up there. A huge sleeping bag, pillows, blankets, pretty much a lot of bulky stuff that would take up necessary space in my cabinets. I also added a cable anchored to each side inside the cab. That is what I used to hang my privacy curtain on, which I made out of a tri-panel living room curtain that I had. Along the way, I also got additions to the dash, which would hold my camera and cell phone. You can see in the vent I have one on the right that holds the cell phone that I can talk through as I'm driving. Also, above the dash, there's a clamp where I could put the cell phone in it and rotate it 360 degrees, so I could also take videos looking out the front windshield as we were driving down the highway. I also had to get a dash cam for the front windshield, and since this didn't have a backup camera, I had to get a backup camera and a large monitor for the front windshield. The one I got, I wanted to be wide angle so I could see 6 lanes of traffic behind me, and I had it set to always come on once the ignition was on. This came in especially handy down on the freeways in California and through Salt Lake City. Now a few loose ends. Let's see here. Behind my seat in the front of the cab, I pack a expandable ladder that allows me to get up to the roof to clean off the solar panels and check things. I also have a leatherette outside windshield cover for like bad weather, especially hail and stuff that could damage the windshield. I also have a pedal control gadget that I put in, and what that does is that gets rid of the 5-second pause I had when I stepped on the gas in this thing before it took off. And when you're pulling out in heavy traffic, especially in Oregon or California or places like that, you got to get out and go, not just like that. And I have a ScanGuard computer monitor that I have not yet put in. It's supposed to tell me my gas usage, my mileage, stuff like that, depending on how well or how bad I drive. So those are a few of the loose ends here. So I guess with that, I'll call it quits and get working on my next video, which will be everything I've done to enlarge and expand the wet bath and how I've done that. So thanks for watching. I hope you'll come back and see the other installments I am working on. Take care, and like we always say here, we wish you happy trails and whoop whoop. Catch you later.